Hey, what's going on? Dr. Ganswell Boogie here again, and in this video I was going to show you guys the DVDs I picked up in the past couple weeks. And most of these are horror titles, but I have a couple science fiction DVDs that I picked up that I'll show towards the end. And first off here I have Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, which this is a movie directed by Bob Clark, who is better known for directing The Christmas Story and Porky's, but he's also known for directing Black Christmas, this movie, and Death Dream, another horror movie that I used to have that is really good too. Well, it's pretty good. But this one I always wanted to pick up on DVD again. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. I actually don't remember too much of this movie at all, but from what I do remember, I remember liking this movie. I thought it was weird and different and kind of cool. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Cool insert on this too. Little booklet for the DVD company. It has some other cool titles in here from Argento and Mario Bava. Wouldn't mind picking some of those ones up. Alright, next up here is Happy Birthday to Me. This is the 80s slasher movie. Most people have the Anchor Bay edition of this that has this cover on it, with the guy getting the shish kebab jammed into his mouth, which is a kill scene in the movie, which is pretty cool. And I recently watched this one, and I thought it was pretty good. It really didn't hold my attention all the way through, but for the most part, I thought it was a decent 80s slasher movie. Happy Birthday to Me. I really like this edition, too. I haven't seen this one too many times. I remember seeing this on Amazon.com a couple times, and most of the time in FYE and other stores like that, I always see the newer Anchor Bay release, so I thought this was pretty cool. Next up is a Bay of Blood from Mario Bava, and I talked about this one a little bit in my Italian horror DVD and VHS collection video I put up like a week ago. So if you want to see me talk a little bit more about this one, definitely check out that review. But this is a pretty good movie. It's known for being a big inspiration for 80s slasher movies, which you could tell it has a lot of really violent death scenes in it, and the movie centers around a plot with a bunch of younger kids that go to this cabin, the party and everything, and they get killed and stuff like that. So it's very similar to an 80s slasher movie. Really cool stuff right here. Mario Bava, Bay of Blood. And next up here, I actually picked up a lot of older horror movies. I've been getting back into the classic horror movies with Lugosi and Karloff and all that stuff, the Universal Monster stuff. And I've even been watching a lot of my 50s science fiction movies lately. So I've just gotten back into that, and I've been trying to pick up some more classic horror DVDs. So I'll show you guys what I picked up. First off here is this Karloff and Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi horror classic set. And mainly I picked this up for Frankenstein 1970, which is a film with Boris Karloff where he plays Dr. Frankenstein, which is pretty cool. Boris Karloff's been one of my favorite actors since I was younger, and I've always just loved his movies. And Lugosi is kind of the same way. These guys are just so iconic that they don't need a good script or anything. Like, basically back in the day, they would just throw these guys in front of the camera and make a movie around it, and it worked. And these guys were such good actors that it didn't matter how crappy the story was or anything. They always did a good job. Lugosi, Karloff, Vincent Price, all these guys, just great actors. No matter how shitty the horror movie they're in is, they always do a great job. But this is a cool pack. It also comes with The Walking Dead, which is another Boris Karloff movie, and it has nothing to do with the new show that's on nowadays. And then there's two Lugosi films on here, You'll Find Out, which I think might also have Boris Karloff and Peter Lorre in it too. And then Zombies on Broadway, which is pretty cool. I've never seen any of these, except I started to watch Frankenstein 1970 last night, but I fell asleep probably like an hour into the movie, so I'll have to check out the ending today. But it was pretty good, very low budget, but the best part about it was just Karloff, just great performance in every scene he's in. Good stuff right here. And here is another Boris Karloff DVD, and this is Cauldron of Blood. This is a newer release by this Olive Films thing that Paramount is putting out. I've seen a couple of these at FYE. They put out Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and there was also this weirder William Castle movie that this company put out. It's obviously distributed by Paramount, but it's called like Olive Films. So I feel like I actually need to look into this, but I feel like they're putting out kind of weirder movies with that thing right there, the Olive Films, whatever they're doing with that. But I haven't seen this yet, but from the back, it actually sounds like, it says right here, plotted like an Italian giallo, seasoned with American jazz music and bursts of psychedelic. Cauldron of Blood is among the more fascinating of Karloff's Euro horror films of the period. So I guess this is kind of like an Italian giallo movie with Boris Karloff. This is from 1967, and Boris Karloff plays like a blind guy in this, and something, some crazy stuff goes on. Well, it sounds really interesting, and I love the artwork on this. That's basically why I bought this, was because it just had really nice artwork. Good stuff right here, Cauldron of Blood. Can't wait to watch this, and when I do watch this, I might do a little review on this one, actually. I want to try to get back into doing some movie reviews, too, every once in a while. Alright, next up, this is a cult classic right here. This is Spider Baby. This is from director Jack Hill. And this movie I know because it has Lon Chaney Jr. in it, and I think this is one of his last film performances. Not exactly sure about that, though, but I've always wanted to see this movie ever since I was collecting classic horror and stuff when I was younger in high school. I've always wanted to check this one out, so I'm glad I finally got around to picking this one up. This movie sounds like it's like a black comedy. This sounds like a weirder movie altogether. Really looking forward to checking this one out, though. Next up is Mighty Joe Young, and this is actually the third in the original King Kong series, which I already have the original King Kong and Son of Kong on DVD, so I've been wanting to pick this one up because last time I watched King Kong and Son of Kong, I really had wished that I had this one to watch also. And all the King Kong movies are really great. This is the last out of the original series, and anybody who's a fan of classic horror who has only seen the first King Kong, Son of Kong, and Mighty Joe Young are definitely worth checking out. Really good movies. Good stuff right there. This is the nice Warner Brothers release of this. And then last year I'll show you guys the 4 science fiction related movies I picked up. Science fiction fantasy type stuff. And first off is This Island Earth. And this is actually a 50s science fiction movie put out by Universal. And some people include this in the Universal Monster series because it has this guy in it. The blue alien monster, who, if you collect or have seen Universal Monster figures or merchandise at all, you know that they make a lot of figures and little models of this guy. So he's become a classic, iconic monster in his own right. I think his name is like the Metaluna monster, Metaluna Martian, which is the name of the planet he's from. So good stuff though. This is a really entertaining, good movie. This is in color. Just an all-around good science fiction movie. I always liked this one. I think I used to have a bootleg of this back in high school. And I know you can get this movie on an awesome Universal science fiction pack, which one of these days I have to pick up. This Island Earth, though, good stuff. Right, next I picked up 2 Terry Gilliam movies, which Terry Gilliam used to be a member of Monty Python, and he went on to become a director, and he's made some really great films on his own. First off here, we have Time Bandits, which this has always been one of my favorite Terry Gilliam movies. This is the Anchor Bay edition of Time Bandits. Saw this one at FYE used for like $5.99. Figured I would pick it up. Comes with the insert and everything. It's a really good movie. Terry Gilliam is just a great director who really captures the imagination in his movies. Like, just better than any other director I can think of. Just his movies are really fantasy movies, and they go all the way, and I just love it. And, and you can tell he has fun with his movies, even though he has a lot of trouble getting his movies made in the studios, because he's always doing something weird, and the studios don't really like that. If you read anything about Terry Gilliam, you'll know that he's just always had trouble trying to get his movies made and put out the way he wants to, so And that definitely goes with the next one here, Brazil, which is my favorite Terry Gilliam movie, and I think his weirdest movie, and I also think it's best. I just think this captures everything he does great as a director, all into one film. And this is just a crazy movie, dystopian type movie, kind of like 1984. It's been compared to that. Just a great movie, and most of Terry Gilliam's movies are like black dark comedies mixed with like fantasy and science fiction, which is kind of what this one is. But this movie, I think when it got released in theaters, it was cut a lot, and Terry Gilliam didn't like that. But this is the director's cut that was been fully restored, so this is really cool right here. I know you can get the Criterion edition of this movie now too, which is cool. That's actually been out for a while, but this is really good stuff right here, Brazil. And last here for the DVD update is this movie Fortress with Christopher Lambert in it. And he's best known for being in Highlander and the first Mortal Kombat movie and a bunch of other movies. But he's really cool. I picked this one up just because he looks straight up like his character from Highlander on the cover. And I love Highlander. And the back of this looked really interesting too. You got some robot guy, some gun on his shoulder. Christopher Lambert all bloody, and then him with some chick on his back. So just, it just caught my attention. Looked like an interesting movie. The year is 2017. The first child is yours. The second is theirs. This is a crazy movie. It's another dystopian movie that takes place in the future. This was actually directed by Stuart Gordon, which most of you horror fans will know as the director of Reanimator and From Beyond and a bunch of other great horror movies. I know he's done a lot for Full Moon too. But this is real. I thought this was really good. This is basically a prison escape movie, but it takes place in the future, and like the stakes to escape from this place are basically impossible. So it's just really cool watching the characters in this movie try to figure out a way to escape this prison, which is guarded by robots and electronic scanners, and it's basically impossible to get out of this place. You're being monitored 24/7 in here. You can't even dream in the prison in here. When you dream, you get like zapped, and every prisoner in this movie has like this ball they put in their stomach, and every time they do something that's against the rules, they use that to hurt the prisoners. It's kind of like electrifies their insides or something like that. But I thought this was really interesting, a really good Stuart Gordon movie, and a really cool Christopher Lambert movie too, or Lambert, however you say his name. Good stuff right here, though. Definitely would recommend checking this one out for Stuart Gordon fans. But that was the update, and like always, I hope you guys liked the video. Definitely give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you did, and see you guys later.